We're back, people, and today we're taking a look at the Miami Dolphins versus the Patriots to preview their second matchup of the season, going back to, their first game, and just looking at how the Patriots defense played the Dolphins offense, because they did a decent job of slowing down the Dolphins, though. It wasn't like they completely shut them down. Like, Dolphins won the game, and we're moving the ball pretty well still, but it wasn't their most productive game of the season. Patriots did like this 3 safety thing, as you can see right here, all of them playing deep, but they would basically rotate into 2 different coverages out of that. I don't expect Belichick to do the exact same thing because he never really does, so I'm expecting to see some variation, but you'll still probably see this at some point in the game. So right here, first play that we're breaking down, the 3 safety look, they rotate into like basically a double robber right here. These 2 safeties play as a double robber, and it ends up just being a cover 3 coverage. So you still get single high, and there's pretty much the opportunity to attack this is you can attack down in the flats, but if you're going to attack down in the flats, you got to be patient. Like on this play with Tua was patient to get there. Or just attacking quick middle of the field, like in this area, because you don't want, if it's like middle of the field but a little bit farther, these double robbers are going to be there to possibly make a play because they're sitting on those routes. And then it is still single high, so if these corners on the outside don't gain a ton of depth and like Tyreek or Waddle is able to get up on them and not work towards the middle, you can take some deep shots or this type of coverage, depending on like the type of cover 3 they're trying to play out there. So yeah, there's different ways to attack it, but it is a difficult look because they will rotate this into a Tampa 2 type thing as well, double robber, and then they're going to bring some different types of pressure up front. You can see they're bringing 4, but this guy drops out, and they're blitzing a off-ball linebacker. They'll do those types of things as well. Lots of rotation pre-snap and post-snap for this Patriots defense. Looking like they might rotate into like a split safety look here, but I think they're trying to disguise this, make this look like this safety is going to be the robber, but he's going to rotate to single high. This guy who looks like he might possibly rotate single high is going to rotate down, and as he's like rotating out, they do a good job attacking this, seeing all the space to work with. Tua recognizes the pre to post snap play, and you should get Waddle sitting over the middle. If you guys look back at the Giants game plan, I wouldn't be surprised if McDaniel does something similar to that, running a lot of like quick screens, some reverses, getting this defense on the move, forcing them to come play down, and then like running your RPOs as well. I think the Dolphins will run their like seam rail slide RPO a decent amount. They ran a decent amount in this first matchup, and it worked decently. And then they'll take their deeper shots later on in the game. Here they show that 3 safety look again. They run the ball against it this time. Being able to run the ball, even versus a front like this, with 3 down linemen and 2 outside guys, 5. Basically running a 5-1, and it looks like they were going to rotate into a Tampa 2 there as well, but they're running this time, which is good. You got to be able to run the ball. Running the ball will be very important against this team. They ran the ball successfully the first matchup, blocking up front, a little bit of a different O-line. We'll see what they have like injury-wise, but everyone just blocks it well up front. This is where they'll really get going, and if they're able to do this, I could see the Dolphins having a little more success this time with their passing game down the field in this second matchup of the season, especially because the Patriots are missing probably their 2 best defensive players in their first matchup with Judon and Gonzalez. I think they were their best players, and I don't think the Patriots have them for this matchup. And then here's the seam rail slide. They do the cheat out motion, RPO type stuff. This is where the Dolphins were able to have some success. It wasn't like super wide open type of plays. Usually the Dolphins, when they do throw these, they end up getting like it's either 2S to throw it away or they're like wide open. Here he gets a good, read. They motion this out, and now he's just reading this edge defender who's like a defensive end that had to drop into coverage. Just reading him. He gets wide enough. Tyreek sits in behind here. You just got to be on the same page with these guys, running these RPOs. They do go too high again, so don't be afraid to run the ball in these situations. This is sort of where the Dolphins need to be consistent to go down the field and then take their shots, which they've done a good job the rest of the season, just taking their shots when they're presented. The slants, the glance routes, the, bang 8 posts, they were all working in this game pretty effectively. Even when, like, the defenders were playing it. I believe that's Christian Gonzalez, who had a very good game against the Dolphins, but look how he's playing this. Look how hard inside leverage he is to Waddle, and they still make this throw. He's got, like, at least 2 yards into Waddle, but he opens his hips to seize that, and him and Waddle just on the same page, hit him in stride. That play is there pretty much versus every team, even when they play to it, just because of the timing and anticipation. If they're on the same page, the depth is right, and Tua is throwing it to that area, these receivers can get there almost every single time, as long as there's no player taking it away up front. But they do this with the play action, pull down these linebackers. The linebackers can get aggressive at times, so take advantage of that. Patriots will, go into their cover 2 quarters, looks at times as well. And I think the Dolphins, they try to run like these smash concepts, or, things very similar to smash. This isn't exactly smash, but it has like the same goals to accomplish with this quick out corner behind it. I don't think the Dolphins, like, this gets it's not completed to a hesitates just a little bit. And I don't think they should be trying to make these types of throws, the corner routes, for pretty much any of the coverages. As, like, if you watched the Bills game last week, I think Josh Allen's first pass attempt was pick. Him trying to throw it, and their flat defender gets out underneath. This is a play I would be attempting to avoid. They try to run some similar stuff versus the Eagles, and it's just not the strength of the team. Run the ball. Verse 2 high, single high. They can have people in the box. The Dolphins can run the ball effectively in this game. I said it last week in the preview versus Eagles, that the Dolphins should abandon the run, and then they did, like I thought they should have, because it just wasn't working effectively. And they were also down game flow, things like that. And this game, I think it's one where you just keep hitting the run for sure. Do not go away from the pass, because this offense still runs through that. But don't be afraid to get physical, bully the opponent, and then get them tired, and that will open up the passing game. I just thought that wasn't really an option for them versus the Eagles, just with how that game went, and the Eagles front with the Dolphins back of the line. They couldn't get anything really going. They did get some decent runs later on, like getting out to the edge, but that was when they started going really light in the box. So you use one to open up the other, and I think the Dolphins can go pretty balanced in this game. Another example here for the Dolphins, hitting like these, glance slant routes over the middle versus these coverages. Patriots rotating to cover 3. They hit Craycraft on this a couple times in this game. Look how, but remember, they're going to disguise their coverages. Look how, these guys are just playing across the board. When they're like this could be a variety of things. Like, they're showing pressure pre-snap. This could rotate into a cover 0. They rotate out of it, only bring 4. It goes into a cover 3. This guy is trying to get out to the flat, but not get leveraged out there, and you just hit Craycraft in stride. It doesn't matter pretty much what they're calling in these situations. If you have this called and the underneath defender is not in the perfect window to take it away, you can have these types of completions pretty consistently versus most of the opponents they've faced. Patriots get a sack here. I think this is the first sack of the season the Dolphins gave up on a 3rd and 9. They go cover 1, and they basically cover 1 robber, and they get the Dolphins kind of lacking on this one. They didn't have, the greatest man beater on a 3rd and 9 situation. Tyreek Hill gets caught up, and the read is Waddle, and this is what you do to take away those slants. You run man, and you have this guy robbing, sitting down here. He's, sitting right at the first down to take away that in breaker to the one side of the field, and they just didn't have any options on the other side of the field for Tua to go to, and then they get sacked. So the Patriots actually, even though the Dolphins have destroyed man-to-man this year, the Patriots they're a man-to-man team. That's what they're used to, and they did actually a good job in their limited man-to-man snaps. So I wouldn't be surprised to see more man-to-man this game, but then the Dolphins can easily adjust to that, I think, taking some more deep shots, especially if they get cover 1 like that. You just have your receiver start adjusting, running deep, if they're going to make that adjustment on 3rd down. And here's the example of what I was just talking about. They go cover 1. They're not disguising it this time. Tua sees what he likes. Throw that deep ball versus these corners. I mean, you have Waddle and Tyreek. This play has been so successful all year long. This is like one of the only times he's really gone to Waddle. If he gets a single high and they're playing up, pressed like this, I think you take that literally every single time. Even if it doesn't work, you take these shots. It can turn into, it's either a big play, maybe a pass deflection, as long as it's not maybe even pass interference. Very unlikely interception type thing usually on these types of plays. If you get that single high, you take those shots down the field. Those will be presented in this game at some point. I thought Tua did a really good job in this game, just not forcing anything, staying underneath, and I think he's got to do that again in this one. This was the only play I thought was he just tried to force it down the field. He was predetermined where he was going to go with the ball. He tried to look off the safety, hold it, and then just hit his back foot and chuck it deep to Tyreek, and he just wasn't able to get his all into it. Got hit right after he threw it as well. Just not his best decision in this game, and I just don't think he needs to force this. And like I was saying, throw it deep. If you see single high, if they ever have 2 high like they do here, they played cover 2. This is probably the only time Tua has tried to throw this deep versus cover 2. It's fine if they're in quarters, but versus cover 2, this is where you get in trouble. And I don't know if Tua's been great at not doing it for the rest of the year, so it's not something I'm extremely worried about, but it's just something to take notice of. Plus, that's Christian Gonzalez, who I think pretty sure he's out for quite some time. Play that we're going to look at, the big Raheem Mostert run. Mostert had a big game in this one. No Achane, unfortunately, still. We'll see him back after the bye, which is, I think, a huge boost for the offense. But Mostert can carry the load in this game. I think Wilson, we might see more Jeff Wilson in this game. He didn't get a ton of work in his first game back last time, and I feel like this is a more of a game script for him to get active. I feel like you're going to see different guys getting some use in this one for sure. I could see Tyreek not having his most productive game again, just being more of like a decoy type player. Maybe get Waddle as your main action, but then also rely heavy on the running game for sure. Mostert getting some explosive plays. He looked really good versus the Patriots. He kind of was the star in this game, I feel like. So we'll see how it plays in Miami. The Dolphins are the better team. They're not in New England. They kind of didn't have their best game in week 2 against them, but now in home, Patriots are coming off a win, which is good for them, but I do think the Dolphins should win this by at least pretty handily. This game came down pretty close, but I thought it shouldn't have been that close, and now it's in a home game for the Dolphins, so we'll see how it ends up playing out, but I'm excited. And then going to the Chiefs after that, which should be fun as well. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.